My best friend actually came down for a drink like 5 minutes before we started the podcast, and he's been sitting in the other room with my wife the entire show.
I have wasps who have come round to say hello, so I am also the socialite. I don't know any wasps. By the way, Jonathan. I've got something to say to you.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Good or bad?
Jonathan Holmes!
I cannot believe you just did the entire Buffy theme song.
It is the Halloween special! It is the Halloween special! And yeah. I have led us off.
And it wasn't even until that end bit that I got it. Like, I was like, I know this tune. Where do I know this? Is this from some game? No, this isn't. And then there it was. Buffy.
It's because of my uncanny musical reproductive ability. It's the... Oh, Jonathan! And it's the Halloween special.
Yes!
You've
done a... Yeah?
I'm excited.
How come?
Huh?
Why?
Because it's a Halloween special.
What's special about it?
Right? First of all, this isn't Podtoid, it is Spooky Podtoid. I am your host, Jim Scaling.
Oh.
Don't fight it. I'm joined by Jonathan Bones, like a skeleton would have. And I'm also joined by Conrad Slenderman.
Ooh.
Oh, that's actually pretty
good. That's not bad.
You see, I struggled for days for me and you, Jonathan, but Conrad was perfect. So we had to suffer through hours to get to his.
Jim Scareling?
Yes, don't fight
Scareling's not bad. That's not too bad.
Don't fight it. It's fine.
Just make sure right.
It, Jonathan, is fine.
You're right. It's fine.
It's the Halloween episode.
Tell me again about it. That.
Right? Okay.
Yes.
First of all, this Podtoid is haunted. So that is in keeping with the Halloween theme. Yeah.
Yeah?
As you know, right? Yes, many years ago, about 150, Podtoid was originally hosted by Miriam and Giles de Ponsonlord, who one day, while recording Podtoid, their Victorian Skype, ye olde Skype, crashed. And back in those days, if you crash in Skype, you crash in real life.
It's like a car crash? Like a Steam car crash?
Something like that. So
no, it's like the Matrix, he's saying.
Yeah.
That's it.
They died,
Matrix too. Okay.
And their ghosts were forever trapped inside Podtoid. Every time you download an episode, you're hearing a ghost.
Really?
Yes. And
Where?
What?
What? I've never heard a ghost on the show. What does the ghost sound like? A giggly ghost? Giles?
Jonathan Holmes! Get your penis out!
Is that Giles or Miriam?
Both of them at once.
Those are the scariest ghosts.
They're the scary double ghosts. It's the scariest.
ghosts.
It looks like one ghost and sounds like one ghost, but it is two ghosts in one, and they want you, Jonathan, to get your penis out.
Why?
Huh?
Why would they want that?
Just to see it. Just to see it. To know. Just to know.
I'm always surprised when ghosts want people to do things because they could just wait until you do it later. 'Cause they'll just watch it. They're ghosts, you know?
Yeah.
Ghosts are like, go to sleep. Or they could just wait for you to go to sleep.
Yeah. You're talking, Jonathan. I'm not hearing you get your penis out. Look, we need to perform an exorcism on this podcast. Because there is a double ghost in it, Jonathan.
Miriam and
double.
Giles. What was their last name again?
De Ponson Lord.
Oh, of the New England De Ponson Lords.
Of the New England De Ponson Lords. See, Conrad's boned up on the history. And bone, again, like skeletons, it is Halloween special. So, Jonathan, we are doing an exorcism. I am a fully licensed exorcist, and you, of course, Jonathan, are a fully ordained Archbishop of Canterbury. So, double ghost equals get your penis out. Show the double ghost your penis.
If
you're an Archbishop, you should be very familiar with the process by now.
Yeah.
I will get my penis out later.
Hold on. I'm getting a call from the spirits. Oh, they are telling me that they are sat on your lap, Jonathan. The double ghost is sat on your lap. And you've got to get your penis out now, right? And do it, like, near the microphone so we can hear it. This is what they're telling me from the other world, right? Get it out and fiddle with it a bit so it just stand up a bit. And then just, like, thrust it forward and go, oh, and in the microphone again so me and Conrad can have a good listen to it. And just, oh, like that. And put your penis in the double ghost.
I'm really frowning right now. You can't see it. But
less frowning, more double ghost gangbang.
I don't want to. No. No, I don't. Oh, this is a show.
We're trying to make this Halloween special, right? Special for the boys and girls, for the trick-or-treaters listening. And you won't get your penis out.
Do you really think that makes for a good podcast?
Yes!
Just the sound of me having a penis?
Yeah!
I mean, does it matter if it's in or out of my pants, radio-wise?
It matters to me to know. To help some people, like a comedian will go on stage and they have things that help them, like a stool or just a glass of water, just something to level them, give them a base, a foundation to work from. I work my best knowing you're pretending to fuck a ghost.
I can't. That would be very distracting for me. I'd feel embarrassed.
It would be distracting for you. It would be settling for me. Again,
my dog is here, though, and dogs see genitalia, and they just go for it. I don't know if you knew that about dogs.
Dogs can also see ghosts, so he'll know what you're doing.
This dog has been real close to my genitals, actually, this whole show. Real just nuzzling. It's hard to get them to stop. I don't know why they want to nuzzle that stuff. I don't know. Have you seen that? Seen dogs do that? Just butt sniff and groin nuzzle? It's a thing.
We shot the dog.
What? You shot the dog?
No, I said I wish it was your dog.
I'm not going to pretend to. I will pull one testicle out of my fly for a brain party. That's a special holiday treat.
Actually, I think
Halloween brains.
If I'm not mistaken, Iggy Pop wrote "I Want to Be Your Dog" about Jonathan Holmes' dog for this very reason.
That is true, and Iggy Pop is famously a lich, so he is Halloween themed.
He does look
really does, yes.
Yeah, for the most part.
Oh yeah, he is.
It's just leather
of necromancy somewhere along the line. A reanimated shoe.
He and Keith Richards have the same witch doctor, I think.
Speaking of people who have been at it for a while, Conrad, we were talking before and then it didn't record, and it was interesting. Will you talk again about Nintendo?
Oh, about how annoyed I am with Nintendo at the moment?
Yeah. Why?
Hold on a second. I'm happy to have this discussion go on, but because it is Halloween, you're going to have to refer to them as Nintendo.
Okay, all right. I think I can manage that.
Right.
So Nintendo
Carry on.
Yeah.
announced
It should
a
be.
promotion that they're going to have for the Wii U and digital distribution, because they want, I guess, everyone to think that they're really interested in pushing digital distribution and making that a thing because the market's expanding, so on and so forth. So the promotion is, if you buy the Wii U Deluxe, the top end Wii, the black one.
Oh, sorry. It's not Wii U Deluxe. It's
Nope.
Wii.
Wii. Okay. So if you get the Wii U Deluxe, you can participate in this program that will give you 10% back on digital games purchased through the eShop or select retailers, to get redeemable codes, right? But here's the thing. That would be great if it were just that. If it was like, hey, you buy stuff on the eShop and you'll get 10% back. And then the promotion's going to run a long time. They're going to run it through the end of 2014. I mean, it's a lengthy thing. So there's a lot of opportunity for people to take advantage of it. But what they're actually giving you are some other kind of point, which you can track on a separate website for this promotion, and then redeem 500 points at a time for $5 in eShop credit.
It's not the same as the coins they have through Club Nintendo, is it? Is it yet another club you have to join?
Well, you're going to have to register your Wii U with Nintendo anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not just make that the system? And the reason I mean, I'm sorry. Back up. I had to yell at the other one.
Oh, that's okay. It sounded like ghosts.
It did. It was kind of spectral, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I was enjoying listening to the ghosts.
You're so delighted with Halloween, Jim. It's downright
It's
adorable.
good. I'm squeezing an orange ball. Not my tanned testicles, Jonathan. No. It is a rubbery squeezy ball with orange it is, with little googly furry bits on it, made out of rubber, Jonathan, and pumpkin face drawn on it, and you hit it on the desk, really hard, and it flashes red and white, flashy lights inside that goes through the rubber for a spooky Halloween surprise. Jonathan.
What have you been eating and drinking today, Jim?
What
have you been eating and drinking today?
Halloween spirit.
Yeah? Like the spirit of the holiday or Halloween alcohol?
No, I'm drunk on the idea of scary holiday fun, Jonathan.
That's great. I was just curious. And you've eaten enough, okay? Your blood sugar's okay?
I had some food once.
Okay, good.
Okay, so what were you saying about the Nintendo coins again? Because
Yes, I apologize, Conrad. I got derailed. Right now, if you buy any old Nintendo published game,
right,
be it download or not, you get coins through Club Nintendo, and you can also use those coins to download games. They're not for free, but it's a way to use your purchases to get free stuff.
Yeah, but this isn't exactly the same thing.
This isn't connected to that. Is it connected to
that?
No,
it's not connected to that.
Another thing? Another
it's
club
their own other additional thing. It's going to have its own special website. And really, what they're doing by making the process this complicated, I mean, it could just be a matter of you buy stuff in the eShop, you own a Wii U Deluxe, they know that because your console's registered with them. Mm-hmm. They could just put the points in your account. Like, they could just do that. But instead, by making you get these other points and then redeem them at the other site and then have to redeem a code received from there at the eShop to get your credit, by making it complicated, they're going to just reduce the number of people who actually take advantage of it, either because they're confused by the process or it's a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And
on
so,
top of that, can you mention that there's like a cutoff or something?
There's a floor. You need 500 points, and the points are like, if you buy a $59.99 game digitally, you get 599 of these points. So you get you get approximately 10%. Well, since the bottom floor is 500 points, based on what they've said in press release and in their announcement, if the increment is 500 points, that means that anything 499 or less that's still sitting on someone's account, they don't ever have to pay out, which is kind of insurance in a small way to minimize the financial damage to their bottom line should the promotion actually be successful in spite of the way it's designed.
So if you have anything less than 500 points lying around, you essentially can't use it because you can only buy in 500 point increments. Is that right? Yeah,
that's what they're saying. Saying every 500 points they earn, participants will receive a code worth $5 in credit.
Right. So it makes you sad. They're trying to do something, but what they're trying is
inconsiderate and underhanded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the thing is that it upsets me that there's a possibility that someone will be fooled by that.
I wonder who this is supposed to appeal to, because people who buy games online regularly aren't going to be impressed with that, I don't think. People who are going to buy the games anyway, it'll be like, oh, that's nice.
No, but I think that they are perfectly aware of the percentage of people who never connected their Wii's online before, and they're trying to entice more people to it. They're trying to recapture those people who are dedicated Nintendo buyers but didn't hook up their Wii's to the internet for whatever reason. This is an inducement, theoretically, until you find out what a pain in the ass it is, to come and buy stuff digitally.
That's a pretty goofy. That's one goofy inducement. I mean, the whole reason people didn't hook their Wii's up online is because it was confusing and like a multi-step process. And even if you did, there was no curation on the Wii U channel, so the Wii U shop channel. So the first game you would see is like the first game that was released or the most latest release, and it's usually bad. So people just ignored the entire thing due to its cumbersomeness, and you had to enter your credit card number every time, and blah blah blah. That's one of the reasons people ignored the Wii Shop channel, which is sad. It sounds like this is just as cumbersome, even more cumbersome. A whole different website you got to log on to and click and clack and do a registration, and they'll count your points and yeah. I don't know if people are going to even bother.
No, I'm sure they won't. But hey, it's good marketing for Nintendo. And then if it doesn't work, they can say, see, people aren't interested in digital distribution, so we're going to scale back, and they continue to go another generation barely dealing with the crap.
There's a weird curse about them. The people do, third parties and first party, do weird bad idea on it, and then say, see, no, it, then gives up on it immediately, even though it was the idea in the first place.
Your connection keeps breaking up as you talk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, don't get me wrong, it's very Halloween.
He's coming to us from the other side.
Yeah, it's like a spooky recording from the ghost realm. But it is strange. Are you downloading tons of games onto your Wii?
No, I always
it's tons of games onto your Wii.
Are you in Silent Hill?
That is true, Jonathan. Not. Are you in Silent Hill or not? Because that would be really scary.
Are you? I'm going to end some processes.
You'll end them all.
That helps.
Don't end the process of life, because that would be bad, and then you would haunt us as a ghost.
No, I always restart my computer right before starting the show for optimum. I've got animals all over me, though. That might be it. I don't know if
probably them.
Interfering with the signal.
Yeah, they tend to leech off Wi-Fi connections a lot.
Is it any better now? Do I sound so great now?
Have you protected your network? If it's cats, they will leech without paying.
I didn't know that. No.
Yeah, they surf the internet in their brains. Good cats. That's why they're so quick-witted, because they are constantly Googling in their heads.
I had no idea. No, this cat's rubbing my
Is it
area.
A witch's cat or not?
Which cat?
Your cat. Is it a witch's cat?
It is not.
Oh, don't give a fuck about it then. Stop talking about it. Hearing myself now coming out at you.
Really?
Yeah.
One spooky episode.
I like the idea of me coming out of you normally.
I can't explain why that would be happening.
That was sexual. I don't know how it was. But listeners rather, connect the dots in your head. You make the innuendo out of it. I can't be bothered. Jonathan Holmes.
Yes, is it any better now? I've tried to adjust.
I think it's better now.
Oh, good.
I think it's better now.
Great.
You're still breaking up on the internet.
I can't explain it. It's a spooky...
Are you sure you're not downloading tons of HD video from the Nintendo eShop?
I'm absolutely sure. I can just talk less this week, if that helps.
That's awful.
I don't know what else to do.
That's not a solution.
I can try to do a different kind of connection. I can flip a switch and plug in a wire or two, but that might take a little while. I could leave and come back on the show. You want me to do that?
Oh, this has all gone wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's all right. You'll be all right. Anyway.
I'll be all right. Yeah.
It is Halloween. And in keeping with the spirit of the season, a spirit like a ghost spirit, I have been tweeting for the past couple of days some Halloween tips. Now, they started as general tips for just my followers on Twitter, for their amusement and their Halloween fun. But I think they are really just tips for you, Jonathan.
Really?
Yeah. Because I know you, and I know you would like this to be the most spooktacular holiday of all. So, if it's all right with you, Jonathan, I would like to share with you these tips that you will then have to do.
I'll hear them.
And then you will do them.
Mm-mm.
If you don't do it, I will come round your house with a spooky Halloween gun and I'll make sure you do it.
A spooky Halloween gun, just like a gun?
Yeah, but I'll write skeleton in Tipex on it.
I don't think you'll do that. You wouldn't threaten me with violence.
Do it. I'll definitely do it. I've already got the Tipex. I've already got the correction fluid. Anyway. You want to listen?
Won't so much threaten you with violence as offer it as a suggestion.
Yeah, it'll be a serving suggestion. Anyway, violence is very in keeping with Halloween, like a scary film like Saw or Saw 2. Right, Jonathan.
Yes.
I'll just give you these tips in a casual magazine type fashion and see what you think of them. See if you'd be willing to do it.
Okay.
Hey, Jonathan.
Uh-huh.
Why not put poo in your hair for a spooky Halloween smell?
I don't have hair, and it would just be brown smear on my scalp.
Soaking urine into your clothes is fine too.
No, it's not.
Hashtag Jim's Halloween tips.
Just human urine or any old urine?
Any urine will do, so long as it smells. I would recommend not... I know you've got a cat. I would recommend not using cat because that will permanently damage the clothes. The ammonia will just discolor and burn through them and irritate your skin.
Does dog urine do that too? Let's talk about it. What does it do?
I don't know. Will you stop fiddling with your microphone?
Am I?
Yes.
I don't think so.
It's coming from you. I can see the little thingy flash up.
It's brushing up against something. The microphone.
How do you know it's not a ghost?
Have you got your penis out? Is that what it is?
How do you know? It could be a ghost penis.
Are you giving us a frightening Halloween penis drag across the microphone? No.
I wouldn't say at this point. I want to be mysterious, spooky.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm getting the holiday spirit.
I'm tantalized.
Yeah.
But seriously, leave the fucking microphone alone.
It did brush against my cheek by accident.
I don't know what's going on. It's constantly just scratchy all the time.
I'm not touching nothing. My hands are free. Maybe I'm haunted. Do you want me to fiddle with a guy or two? Then get back to you? You want me to go away and come back?
We'll try and muddle through it.
Okay.
I wish... I'm going to have to just fly to Boston and go at your house and just watch you record and see what's going on?
I'm motionless. Not my hands are on my sides, palms down.
Unless there's like an ant or something in the microphone just constantly jumping up and down in there with big ant boots on.
It's possible. I got another headset because this one seemed crummy, and then that other headset, you were like boo 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 about that.
I don't know.
Like, oh, ba 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 ba. No, you said.
I'm just...
My Aunt Rita did that for a while before she met her third husband.
Oh, bo 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 about things.
You know, jumped around in things big ant boots. I'm sorry,
Oh.
I just...
that is...
But she's dead now, and that's spooky Halloween.
That was a phantasmagoric Halloween pun. Speaking of which, Jonathan...
Yes?
Oh, I know you're wondering, what else can I do at Halloween? Cry while smiling and carve Little Piggy's Gonna Get Fucked into your bare chest at an Applebee's. The kids will love it, Jonathan.
The words Little Piggy's gonna get fucked, or the idea?
The words. I mean, you can do a picture as well if you think you've got the room. But just the words while, like, grinning, like a proper Stepford smile, but tears streaming down your face. And you look a kid dead in the eye, and while you do it, just slowly carve Little Piggy's Gonna Get Fucked in. Using quotes and a full stop, punctuation period, because... well, we want to be grammatically correct as well as frightening for the children. Give them a treat. And just do that at your local Applebee's or, equivalent restaurant, family dining. Halloween fun.
Okay, I'll do it.
Brilliant. So that's one definite.
Actually, yeah, that does sound kind of fun. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it in, like, a restaurant's bathroom or someone's property, but a friend's.
Yeah.
Like someone I knew really well, like Jonathan Holmes. Like, I would break into Jonathan Holmes' house in the middle of the night and smear a Little Piggy going to get fucked.
That would be good.
All over his bathroom wall.
Crouched like a gargoyle in there as well, on the toilet.
Absolutely.
So that he sees you and you're just bouncing up and down, pooing. Would be a fun treat for Jonathan. It would scare him, which is in keeping with Halloween. Oh dear. Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah?
Print and cut out your own Elizabeth Berkley mask. Then stab the neighbour's dog in its neck for a ghoulish surprise.
These are all terrible. These are crimes and
Right?
cruel...
I gotta go with Holmes on this. Really spreading anything about Elizabeth Berkley whatsoever, giving her any attention whatsoever, should be considered a crime.
How dare you? That woman is a saint. We're talking about the woman I love.
She has sacrificed for her art.
And you will sacrifice a dog for Halloween.
I won't do it. No, I won't do it.
You can use a screwdriver.
I like dogs. I don't want them to die.
I don't specify what you can use to stab the dog in its neck. You can use a screwdriver, if that helps.
That sounds awful.
Hey, Jonathan.
Yeah?
Instead of a pumpkin, put a clear sealed plastic bag of live rats outside your door. Also semen.
Oof. All right. I mean, that's not technically a crime.
That's a good one. Just dozens of rats in a big clear plastic bag, so they're scurrying around.
Well, I would go with a clear plastic jug or jar of some kind, something that you could seal but put air holes in, but they're gonna have to scratch their way out of.
You see, that's the interesting bit.
Because with a plastic bag, they'll just be gone in no time.
That's the point. Halloween's only one night, and we don't ideally want these rats surviving. Because I'm going to be honest, the rats I'll be providing you with, Jonathan, haven't been tested and probably should be.
What? You're providing? Why don't you just do it? Why are you giving me a bag of rats?
They've got typhoid. Is what I'm saying.
Now we're back into crime territory. Now
no, we're not. No, we're not. They're sealed. They're hermetically sealed in a health bag.
Can't they chew through the health bag?
No, because that's the point. By the time, they start to make even a dent in the plastic, they'll have run out of oxygen. And the rats will, one by one, die, possibly start eating each other throughout the course of the evening. So that at the end of the night, you've basically got a big plastic rat lump, essentially. And that is scary. The nature of death.
It is scary, yeah.
You can tell people, oh, those rats were alive at the beginning of the night, but it seems the Grim Reaper has visited our house and killed those rats.
Ooh, they won't think that, Jim. Do you know about the police and crimes and laws and, people?
Are they like witches and Frankenstein's monster?
No. If you do crimes and kill things and have rat carcasses that have diseases around and semen just in your house or around your house on Halloween when the trick-or-treaters are coming, then people call the cops on you and investigate as to whether you are gonna do some harm to the children, you see.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a real thing. You got to watch out for, especially in Halloween, because the police.
Russell Crowe could do with a good Halloween laugh. Why not send him some of your pubes matted together with blood?
That gets you in trouble again. The police, because it looks like I'm stalking them. Looks like I'm a disturbed man who wants to do Russell Crowe, bleed him. That's no good. Nobody wants that.
Why not grind a dog's skull into a fine powder and mix a little into your family meal? They won't know, but you will. So spooky.
It's not that. I mean, some people eat skull, I guess, but it's kind of mean. And where will I get a dog skull from?
Put someone else's poo up your ass. It'll feel like a scary ghost is in you, like an exorcist.
No, all you really have to do is troll the back alleys of veterinary clinics for a few weeks. I'm sure you'll find a dog skull in no time.
All right, well, that's not the worst way to get a dog skull, I guess.
I mean, you don't want to find a reputable one. You want some real sleazy asshole who doesn't properly dispose of dead animals.
Who the hell is Kevin Dent, and why does he keep talking shit about me?
I don't know who Kevin Dent is.
He's a analyst. Actually, he lives up here. We were supposed to go get a beer, but that's probably never going to happen.
He's just chatting shit about me on Twitter.
Really? Yeah. What about you?
He does that.
I don't know. He's all front, and he talks shit about people, and when he's confronted by them, he shits himself.
He's saying that about you?
Yeah, I don't know him.
Has he confronted you lately?
No, I mean, I had him blocked on Twitter, so he must have been sending me some abuse in the past. But I don't know who he is.
Does he have a lot of followers? Is he big and important?
A couple of thousand. It's just, I've never heard of the guy. And he's confronted by them, he shits himself. Who's been confronting me, and where is the boo?
That is a way to try to call you out, Jim, and get your attention, and then he'll get attention through your attention. Yeah, Kevin Dent. I predict he's going to get at least 500 more followers now that you mentioned him. People are going to look into him.
I'm going to ask him why he's talking about my shit.
Yeah. Why are you talking about the shit, Kevin? That's a great question.
A weird man.
While we're talking about, it seems like we talk about poops and stuff a lot, but have I ever talked about the poop rope?
No, I want to hear about it.
Okay. Like we were talking last episode, people often don't think I'm the weird one on the show, or the zany one. You know, you're pretty zany, Jim, and I tend to just let you go with the zany. And then people think I'm trying to copy you too with the GameCube commercial ideas. Like I'm copying your humor that you've. But this is that's how my brain has always worked. When I was younger, especially, and when I was much younger, I was at a party that was being live streamed. I think it was a Halloween party, and everyone was in costumes, and they were gonna kiss later on camera, and it was so hot and trendy, and people were sexy and dripping hot wax on each other, and I was just really sad about it. I felt really sad about them. So I put a rope up my butt and rubbed it around and then left it in the shower and went home.
Okay.
True story. Yeah, it was all brown.
And you do that, and you won't get your penis out for me to just know it's out.
No, not while I'm talking to you. That's
You're
weird.
looking after people.
That's
You're
like
looking
shadow
after
balling.
other people. I want to shadow your balls.
I don't want that.
I want to
was
actually shadow your balls like a private investigator. I want to get surreptitious photos of them and keep tabs on where they're going, who they've been speaking to, and then send the photos to their husband.
My balls have a husband?
I will send you the photos of the balls.
I'm married to my balls?
Probably. And I will tell you where the balls have been and what they've been up to, so that you know, Jonathan, because you're not always looking down there. You're not always knowing what they're up to. That's why I will look after them for you.
I do know what I'm fully aware of all the time. I mean, I don't think about them all the time, but I know that they're attached and they're not in any sort of danger or trouble.
Oh.
My balls.
Well, I'll look after them.
You don't need to. They're well taken care of. I wear underwear. I keep them from getting caught in zippers, and keep them out of danger. Keep them well groomed.
Ah.
Yeah.
I hate it when people start shit with me like this, because now I'm just distracted.
Kevin Dent?
Yeah.
Huh. Well, Jim, you are known, and you're doing things that make you more known each and every day. So more people are going to know about you and say, this guy, he seems pretty well known. If I start a fight with him, then people are going to know about me. And then if I even, quotes, win, unquotes, the fight, then everyone will think I'm better than him. And then all people will care about my analysis of blah, blah, blah. So,
he says we've met before several times.
He's really embarrassing himself by saying that.
If we've met, I would have expected him to have brought this up sooner.
When you've met. Maybe he's mixing you up with someone else? That's what I would say. Because, it's not... It doesn't make him look like he's very important for him to say, we've met, and for you to be, are you sure? I don't remember you at all. That's not what, Ja Rule would have said to LL Cool J.
And so I think I'd remember someone telling me this kind of stuff to my face, unless he didn't. In which case, what was he thinking then that he wasn't saying?
And did he even say what you were confronted with?
I have no idea.
So he's just confronting you with the fact that you refuse to be confronted, and now you're acknowledging him.
Absolutely no one has ever confronted me face to face about anything.
I don't even know what would they confront you about? Video games?
I don't know. Well, this guy's whining about fucking reviews now. The impact's Metacritic, as if that's my fucking problem.
Is he a developer? Why would he care? What?
I don't know. He must know some developers, and apparently I'm supposed to be beholden to them instead of my readers, probably.
Did you even review anything?
I don't know. I checked out his Twitter feed. He was moaning earlier that people were daring to give Assassin's Creed below an 8.5.
You didn't review that. Conrad did.
No, but I am just to blame. He said anyone giving it below 8.5 is basically Jim Sterling. Spelt my name wrong, so I don't know if he knows me that well at all. Oh, that's put me in a mood, that has.
Well, he sounds pretty silly. I mean, he may be a great guy, but if you say that people are wrong for not liking a video game as much as you do, then you are silly.
Oh, dear. I wouldn't shit myself when confronted. I would shit myself if confronted by a scary Halloween ghost in keeping with the spirit of the recording.
You should tell him that.
This man is dumping all over Halloween.
I know. That's not right. Conrad, you did review Assassin's Creed 3, and
I
you gave
did.
it a 7.5 out of 10.
7.5, which is, probably why he probably didn't even observe who wrote it, just assumed Jim did, and then
Oh, yeah. Destructoid. Yeah.
that happens pretty often.
Yeah, sure does.
Whatever.
Especially if it's not a super high score. They assume Jim did it. And then Jim will give something a high score, and people ignore him.
I think Assassin's Creed 3 is good. I mean, there's things there's things that I really hate about it. Like,
Talk to us about Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
I don't think I can convey how much I don't like the UI in terms of the menu system.
Now, is that compared to past games, or just...
Oh, definitely compared to past games, absolutely. Like the map in Brotherhood, it had all these icons because there was all this crap you could do, and it was all individually identified. But you could select to see ranges of icons and, specific ones on the map. In this, there's mission, you can see all the icons, or you can see the mission types, which only refers to primary missions. So any other quest stuff, just not collectible, disappears from the map completely. Or a couple of other options. It's not executed well. And then there will be other menus where, like the crafting, you've got these sort of circular indicators that are supposed to be slots that you put in your artisan, and then the resources that they're going to craft with, and then this big one on this big circle on the right is your recipes. Down at the bottom, it has the instruction, the A button is for select and the B button is to go back. Okay, still with me? Cool.
Yeah.
So you select a recipe, and when you're ready to craft it, you're supposed to press the Y button, but it gives you that instruction directly below the little circle tucked into some other information instead of where all the other instructions for button inputs are on the screen.
I thought you said the A button to do a thing. Now you got to do the Y button to do that thing?
The Y button instruction appears after you've made your selection with the A button, because you might want to change your mind and select something different, which is understandable. But it's not laid out as clearly, and the position of the elements just doesn't make sense to me in my brain. It's just not good.
Yeah, sounds like it would make a game worse.
But that, there are things I like about it. I thought the story was interesting. It's a credit to them that they decided to make some of the plot choices that they did. There's some really interesting stuff. It was so hard. It's so hard to even write a review without spoiling the game, as I'm sure anybody who has invested, 2 or so hours into the game could tell you. Because it does some stuff early on that I didn't see coming at all.
Yeah, from the sounds of it, they didn't fail on the story front, but just doing things is not always fun. The doing can be kind of tedious, and one of the other things that kind of irks me about that is that, like, in earlier games, you would do these side quests, and as you progressed along them, you would open up elements that assisted you in escaping from enemies or things. You'd get crowds in there that could cause distractions through various different means just by pursuing the quest lines through the normal course of play. In this, there's really none of that. Nothing contributes to enhancing the single-player experience in terms of main questline stuff. It just makes it a little easier to do all of your other optional subquest stuff. Mm-hmm. It sounds like they kind of oversimplified it in some ways for people that they assume are going to have this be their first Assassin's Creed game, maybe? Do you think that was a part of the thinking?
Maybe that was the consideration. And the best game in the series for me is Brotherhood at this point. That's the one that they really kind of nailed. The story, the characters were great. This one, the characters are... The bad guy I like. I like the bad guy. But I always like the bad guys when it's the Templars. Like, they are always interesting to me. Because I like a villain that is resolute in their beliefs and has a certain logic behind them, even though that logic might be flawed in some way or in direct opposition to things that I believe to be true.
The older you get, the more you meet people like that who aren't necessarily sadistic or it's not complicated when someone just likes to hurt other people. It's a little bit of a one-note tune. But when someone thinks they're doing good and does some good sometimes, but their overarching philosophy is damaging, that's someone you can relate with while being afraid of. It makes it a lot more fun.
Yeah. So I love the Templars. I love the villains. Connor's kind of a. He's
Have you
alright.
played much of the Vita one? You're not reviewing that too, are you?
No, I don't have a Vita, so.
Oh, that's right.
I would like to play that. It seems interesting, but yeah, I don't have a Vita yet, so it's on the back burner.
I'm hearing good things about the central protagonist. I guess she's kind of like Batman in a lot of ways. She's like a sexy assassin Batman. Yeah, that's fun. I hope good things for that game. I hope Vita just in general. I'd hate for that to lose all support this early and things. I hope it has a little bit of a go before people completely give up on it. And Assassin's Creed Liberation, isn't that what it's called?
Yeah, Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation.
I think that's pretty much the biggest game the console's seen yet. So hopeful people care. Hope it turns out good. Almost bought a Vita this weekend because Target had them on sale by accident for $180 for the $300 version, but then they changed the price back before I could actually buy it, which was sad. And Jim, he's thinking about Clark Kent or whatever his name is, right, Jim? Kevin Dent?
Yeah.
Jim, you gotta
been able to hear the conversation going for a while now.
He's giving me this like completely fictional version of an event that did happen, but in no way did he explain what's going on. I'm sorry, no way did he give an account of what actually happened. He's saying
you have met Kevin Dent?
No, I've never met him. He's been near me and apparently muttered something under his breath that I was supposed to hear.
Ah. Yeah.
He's saying I grovelled to Michael Pachter after talking shit about him. He says Michael Pachter confronted me in the middle of the street and I grovelled to him. When I met him in the street, that was the second time that day I'd met Pachter and all we did in the street was hug. So that was bullshit.
That's weird picturing you hugging him.
Pachter didn't confront me, I confronted him in the convention hall earlier that day. He was talking to someone else.
It's a joke. It's a clue joke.
He didn't even see me. I approached him, talked to him, and said that he was taking a lot of what I said personally, and it wasn't intended that way. I make a lot of jokes about Michael Pachter. I still do. Because... And I'm fine. They're easy. And also I contextualized them for him and said, look, when I call you Michael, quote-unquote, shiny testes Pachter, it's just me messing around. And I didn't even have to have that conversation with him. I made peace with him myself. Because, as I say, he had his back turned to me. I could have walked on past.
But Kevin Dent said that Pachter saw you in the street and said, "Stop it! Stop your lies!" And you went, "I'm so sorry, Pachter."
That seems to be his weird, demented version of events.
Try proving him wrong.
Well, he's going to have to prove that he's the one making the allegations. I've given my version, the real version of events, and I've been able to provide a lot more details than him. And he's claiming we were crossing the street, and that's when he made his big, bold statement that I'm this grovelling, cowardly bully, which I don't remember him saying, so he clearly couldn't have said it loud enough.
Well, Jim, he would know more about what you did than you.
Oh, I'm sure.
If you think about it. I mean, you're biased.
Oh, yeah,
you're not going to remember your life like he did.
I'm too busy giving bad scores to Assassin's Creed games, so I've got no idea what goes on in my life, how I think about things, and the people I've had conversations with that aren't him.
So but in a court of law, if you're on trial, he is the star witness in the Pachter Jim Sterling groveling case. With the Ace Attorney, Phoenix Wright. He's your lawyer, I'd guess. Or are you who are you?
How dare he?
He's putting you on trial, Jim.
How dare this
God.
man?
Oh God, here we go. I've been watching.
Get Pactor in there. Loop him in. I'm sure that's what Kevin Dent's real hope is, that Pactor will be like, whoa, this guy's a hotshot analyst. If I get him on board with my analytical team, he'll really turn things around for me in my career. That's what he's hoping. He wants to get some of that Pactor. Get up on that Pactor. You know what I'm saying? Michael Pact. That's what he wants.
Oh, he's invited me to sue him for defamation.
He's really having fun with it, Jim. I don't know if you want him to have this kind of fun. You're kind of letting the terrorists win at this point. You can't stop it though. You're into it. He's got you hooked.
I honestly don't know who the fuck this guy is.
Well, yeah, and that's the point. If you knew who he was, he wouldn't be bothering to try to rope you into an attention-grabbing... Because he knows your followers, and now Podtoid listeners are going to be like, oh, I want to see this, and then maybe he'll have written one good thing once, and they'll be like, whoa, he's pretty smart, and then they'll follow him, and then he'll grow in his... it's a career move for him. An analyst with 3,000 Twitter followers is not going to be making much money, but if he can get 5,000 out of this whole thing... then eventually he'll be able to think he's important. And yet you clack away, Jim.
Yeah, he's really thrown me off my game this afternoon. I apologise to the listeners. This might not be fun for you to listen to, but this guy's really... I still don't remember him at all.
Well, yeah, maybe you never met him. He might be a spooky ghost who's haunting you while you're trying to do your show. This is his way of sucking you into the box, the ghost box, where the moths live. Scary moths, spooky. Just like in The Possession, starring that guy who looks like the guy from No Country for Old Men. You seen that movie? Pretty
No
spooky.
Country for Old Men? No.
No, the other one, The Possession. It's got a Divik. You know about the Divik?
No. What's a Divik?
It's a Jewish ghost that'll get you.
Oi!
It's pretty spooky.
Oi!
Well, we don't have Jim anymore. We got to talk about video games, just you and me, Conrad. And I don't even know how I sound. Am I coming across good, or am I breaking up this whole time?
No, you sound fine.
I sound better now?
Sure.
Well, that's
sure
good.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
We could talk more about some video games you're playing.
I guess. I mean, let's see. I mean, I've pretty much just been playing a lot of Assassin's Creed for the last week or so. I've been playing some Borderlands still, doing the second playthrough thing now with the wife.
Did you hear about the Borderlands iOS bug?
I don't think it was. It was on the 360.
Oh, was it? I thought it was related to the app that connects to the game.
I don't know about that. I know that on the 360 there is a issue where people have been modding their accounts to toggle some mode that was left out of the game for whatever reason. I guess is how this has worked out, something of that nature, and it's causing problems for other players who wind up in games with people who have made these modifications to their save files. And so
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's almost spreading around like a virus, I guess, or something.
So
and they're
if
working
you
to
play
patch
someone else who's hacked their game, then your character can get kind of sick and die?
Yeah, it gets screwy somehow. So they're advising people to play in private games with friends for the time being while they sort it out, just to be on the safe side. And should be a patch coming for it, but that sucks.
It's kind of condomy. It's kind of like they're encouraging safe sex in schools.
Yeah, I guess that's definitely one way to look at it.
I wonder if that's going to become more common practice. People having to worry about who they interact with in a fun way.
I think that it is going to continue to evolve as an issue and a problem. I mean, the Xbox 360, they are at a point now where people are pirating software, modding software, cheating, and playing online. And it's causing problems, and it's up to each individual publisher, I guess, to keep an eye on that and keep it secured and kick those people out and ban them from the service. But it's going to be a constant battle there. And now, I just read an article earlier this morning. The PS3 is at risk to some of this. Now, it's pretty limited. There's not a whole widespread of consoles that are going to be capable of taking advantage of the exploit that's out now. It's older units that hadn't yet gotten a firmware upgrade to like beyond 3.55. It's not a huge subsection, but at the same time, it means that these people who are modifying their systems and getting access to modify games will be playing online against other people on PSN, and could make the experience less than desirable for those other players. So it's
Kevin Dent!
It's going to be an issue. Oh God, here we go.
Who? I ask ye! Sorry.
You're really... Wow. Jim, take a deep breath. Now think about Kevin Dent. Think about what he wants and what he's hoping you do in reaction to what he's doing.
He wants to meet me at the next event we go to. I think he's issued a challenge. I've not retweeted any of this shit, so he's not really gaining anything.
Oh, I don't know. People follow you like a hawk and will notice who you're talking to. And talking about it on Podtoid, boy... Yoy, he's gonna love that. Boing.
Maybe. But sorry, it's more or less wrapped up now after he called me a liar and told me to sue him for defamation. But basically he's said, oh, well, feel free to make an appointment with me at the VGAs or CES or E3 and I'll say it to your face. So, done. That is happening. I will buy him a drink. I'll buy him a drink and that's on me. And he can say whatever the fuck he likes to my face. It would be the first time he's done it.
When Scooby-Doo is running from a spooky ghost, Shaggy's just a-doing what he does the most. Huh? You remember that one? Trying to reel you in back into spooky times with Podtoid.
Yeah.
Don't think about that, Kevin Dent. Think about Shaggy.
Sorry about that.
And think about, why did they put Shaggy in Cabin in the Woods? They explain every wacky circumstance that happens in every horror movie ever, and all the character cliches you see in horror movies, and then Shaggy's just in there, unexplained. What's up with that? And those little peanuts you get on airplanes. What's up with those? Huh? Jim?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Jim.
Kevin Dent killed Halloween for Jim Sterling.
He did.
My God.
And a whole thing planned about turning Jonathan Holmes' apartment into a haunted house. That's been ruined
by Kevin Dent.
By this man.
Star Wars Episode 7. Hey, girl. Yeah? Want to talk about it?
In the moonlight.
Conrad.
What?
Jim's typing again, so we're going to talk about Star Wars Episode 7 then.
Oh, no, you can have that conversation. You know what? Take the conversation, fold it until it's all sharp edges, and... Yeah.
Cut myself with it?
Yes, there you go. I was gonna suggest something a little more...
Shove it up my...
There you go.
Yeah. Well, Star Wars. It's a movie series. People hate it. People love it. People are going to say that's good or bad that they're making another movie. They'll be talking about that for 2 years now. Huh?
I hope that people who like Star Wars enjoy it. That's fine. I hope it's a good film that they like.
It could be.
Don't care.
Sometimes Star Wars movies have good parts in them.
Okay.
Maybe this will be like all the good parts together in one movie starring Harrison Ford.
Oh, Star Wars.
I got you back.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Star Wars, Jim. Come on.
Yeah.
Talk about it. Talk about Star Wars, Jim.
So, yeah, I laughed when I first heard it. Just
You
the
didn't think,
idea, Star
whoa.
Wars Episode 7. I'll be honest, after the prequels and the Clone Wars and just everything, I struggle to care about Star Wars anymore. Like, the Star Wars just has no emotional resonance whatsoever with me. Just none at all. But I'm intrigued a little.
Oh, yeah?
Interested a little. Hearing that George Lucas is going to be kept reined in makes me interested. Because that man is not a storyteller. He very much reminds me of, say, David Cage or something. Just a guy good for an idea, has good ideas, but really needs people reining him in. I mean, he was limited by a lot of people. He had a lot of people inputting on the original 3 films. And then, of course, the prequels were Lucas Unleashed. So I'm interested. I like the idea that other people are helming it and he's just there to creatively advise. And so long as, people aren't terrified of him, then there we go.
Do you have a glimmer of hope?
Yeah.
I think it could be great. I thought Revenge of the Sith was the second best Star Wars movie, period. But then again, I think all the Star Wars movies are fairly badly made. I mean, they're just all kind of bad movies with really fun ideas in them. I like the themes. I like some of the characters. I like some of the acting in the original trilogy and the prequels. I thought Ewan McGregor did a good job. I love the Emperor all the time. To me, it's just the movies about the Emperor. And if the 7th episode is about the Emperor being a spooky, like, creep who sneaks into Luke's house and, like, hovers over his children at night and is like, oh, yeah. That'll be good. That's my dream, episode 7 movie. Just an Emperor looking at children.
Yeah. Sorry,
No?
all sorts of shit's going on. Now my Ragnarok Odyssey review had a Silent Hill Book of Memories image in it for no reason. That's
You're
not
getting
what
really
I
haunted
wanted.
left and right, Jim.
I am being haunted by bad Twitter people and Silent Hill.
I'm just wanting to work on my Emperor impersonation now. It is more guttural, isn't it? Like, just picture maybe Leia and Han's children just sleeping in bed,
Yeah,
calm.
Max
and,
Scoville could do an excellent Emperor impression.
Max Scoville?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does.
He
Max
did it
Scoville
on
does a
Podtoid.
lot of great things.
It was very
Yeah,
nice.
he's a
Oh,
wonderful man. Yeah.
and now he is dead. He has died.
Yeah, indeed. I've been playing Mario Sticker Star, Paper Mario Sticker
Oh, that
Star.
code work all right?
Yeah, code worked just fine. Gonna get the review done for November 6th, which is when I think it comes out. Is that right? On a weekend? Seems right. Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
I'm sure
You got
I'm right.
the embargo information and everything.
Yeah, it's somewhere around there. Pretty weird game. I think that people who really like Paper Mario games for the story are going to be pretty disappointed because it's not story heavy at all. It's a weird resource management. It's almost like a turn-based Resident Evil game without any of the horror trappings. It's all about making sure you don't run out of ammo and like you can't save whenever you want, so you'll be like trying to escape from an area and not get your ass kicked in order to leave and get to a save point. It's weird. It's fun though. It's my kind of game. It's very focused on just gameplay mechanics, and the story is there just to give you a bit of humor now and again, something to play for. But generally, the moment-to-moment experiences are about just the act of playing, not so much about storylines. Interesting to see what people think of it. And, yeah. I don't know, Jim. Should I just do questions then?
Yeah, I'm really sorry about this, listeners. It's when you got someone in the industry calling you a liar and a bully and a bad human being. It puts you off a bit.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that, listeners.
It's been appropriately spooky, actually.
We've had some good Halloween laughs. I had a whole bit where I was going to get one wasp in a matchbox, and then have hundreds of matchboxes glued to your wall, Jonathan. And every 10 minutes we'd poke one of the matchboxes open and release a wasp into a Halloween party to scare people.
That would scare them.
It would scare. Like, one wasp...
fun scare, like a real I don't want to get hurt scare.
One wasp could go unnoticed for a while, and then two... Like, every time it ups the ante.
Okay, but there's one minor complication with this. I mean, how many of these wasps in matchboxes are we talking about?
I'm talking a whole wall's worth.
Right, you see, and that's the issue, because those motherfuckers are going to buzz, and people are going to be like, what's the wall? So, the moment someone says, what's the wall, you got to have a mechanism in place to just send them all at once. Just out of the wall. You can do it subtly for a while, but between the buzzing and how obvious it would just have to be.
Could I use smoke to keep the wasps sleeping? Ooh, I heard smoke makes wasps sleep. That's what I heard.
I don't know. No, I have a cousin that actually would know that.
Is he a beekeeper?
Yeah, he is actually a beekeeper.
You only hear about them and see them in movies. A real one.
He got a degree in etymology and he keeps bees. He does research.
Oh, neat.
Yeah.
I think I can do a pretty good Emperor Palpatine impersonation, though. I can be like Max Scoville. Can't I?
You can be the new Max Scoville.
I'm going to try to do it.
You're the old Max Scoville.
Live up to the dead man's legacy.
Yeah. He would do voices like, oh, confidentially, like that, you know?
You're halfway there.
Here we are. Oh, and a very nice fine teas. Right?
That is good. And also quite ghostly for Halloween.
Oh, thank you. And then the Emperor, like, yeah. No, I got to work on that. No. Give me some time. Maybe next week I'll have something. So I'm going to do questions. Pressed enter on the tweet. Hopefully people will be getting back to us. Once more, the galaxy. Yeah? Getting better?
Fuck me.
You don't like my... Oh.
It's an interesting new take.
Yeah, I'm, it's in the foundation building stages. I haven't quite got there yet, but yeah, that sound like him?
Closer to the 60s era penguin.
Yeah?
That's a pedophile. Maybe somewhere in between there is where we'll be at.
All right. Yeah, I'll watch the movies again. I really do love... The more the Emperor is in a Star Wars movie, the more I enjoy it. He's great. Let's see. No real questions, really. Maxwell Rohrig, our friend from Flixist, just asked if I would do voice narration for a GameCube commercial he has planned out. Sure. I think anybody would. Why wouldn't you do narration for a GameCube commercial? That's not really for everybody, though.
Yeah.
Game Boob console? Cody asks about the clone Game Boob console and when it's coming. I don't think that's coming.
Maybe they were talking about your GameCube advert from last week.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Ah, okay. No. Sophia Edwards, Goonie121, who is a co-host of a podcast called Just Another Anime Podcast, JAP. Oh boy. Yes, Jim should be the leader of a totalitarian state. I guess. Jim, would you want to be the leader of a totalitarian state?
Yes. And my first rule will be Kevin Dent is not allowed to speak at Halloween and ruin it for everyone.
Yeah, that would be fine. Kevin Dent, he's a guy. James Scott asks...
Harvey Dent, I call him. Two-faced.
Ooh, that was yeah. Mm-hmm.
Man never said word fucking one to me, and then suddenly on Twitter is giving it all to big man.
Well, he's getting a lot of attention. He really is.
He's enjoying it. I've been linked to some other stuff. Apparently he's got a history of being quite abusive to people.
Yeah, it seems to be the way some people think to get ahead in the industry is just to upset people and then get attention They did it in hip hop and rap for many years. A crappy rapper would pick on Big Daddy Kane or perhaps MC Light and say, your raps are bad raps, mine are the good raps. And then everyone would pay attention to that rapper after that. It's a trick, you see?
Yeah.
It's like the old...
Beefing.
Beefing. Yes, that's the term for it. James Scott asked what we think
It's
of the
more
whole
like
Disney...
vegetarian bacon.
Whoa, people want more Sing Sterling. Almost Gay on Twitter says that he wants us to do more, I assume it's a guy, wants to do more Child's Play charity. And for you to sing again, Jim. Remember that time you sang for like 24 hours?
It was actually 12 hours.
It was 24 in a way.
It was 24 on if we'd hit a certain mark and we didn't get there. And while the showman in me would have liked to have gotten the full 24 anyway as a treat, the fat fuck in me said, I'm going to sit down.
Whoa, people are really talking about this Disney LucasArts thing. That's all anyone's asking.
Oh, yeah.
Because Disney bought Lucas, and therefore LucasArts games, including Monkey Island, are now owned by Disney, I guess. Which I think could be pretty awesome. When I saw Carrots the Caribbean, that movie with Johnny Depp and Keira Knightley, I was like, Dad, just looks like Monkey Island, but worse. And I could never get into it after that. It was just a poor man's Monkey Island, the Carrots of the whatever.
Monkey Island?
Yeah, Carrots of the Monkey Island. So if they make a real Monkey Island now that's funny and does not star Ryan Reynolds, who would I like to star in the Monkey Island movie? Any thoughts, Conrad? You're a Monkey Island lover.
I'm trying to think of who would make a good Guybrush Threepwood. And
Topher Grace? Could be all right, given proper direction.
Who is Frodo?
Frodo, that would be great. Little Lias Leapwood or something.
Elijah Wood.
That's it.
Elias Threepwood.
Something like that. I mix him up and Lucas Haas and
put him in a blonde wig. Elijah
Wood could be great. Yeah, he's got a wit and intelligence, but can also look incredibly dopey and confused. Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, he's the other one. The three of them: Elijah Wood, Lucas Haas, and Tobey Maguire, all have that doe-eyed male bimbo look to them. But they're all quite smart and good actors, so they could all be good. Wow, the questions are really coming in.
But who would be LeChuck? That's what I want to know.
Who would be LeChuck?
Because Dom DeLuise is dead.
I'm thinking more like Willem Dafoe.
Willem Dafoe would make an amazing LeChuck.
Yeah, he's got the vocal tone. He's got the kind of sadistic glee.
Yeah. Although I don't know, maybe you want someone a bit more booming, a bit more like, because his voice is like a knife edge. You probably want someone more like a tenderizing hammer.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that a skeleton or a skeleton ghost is kind of knifey. Because they don't have any guts to them to project with.
True, but he was always quite hefty.
True,
he's kind of a hefty guy, whereas you got Willem. He's more of a sinewy creature.
True. All right, yeah, I'll buy that. Brian Blessed then.
Brian Blessed is too friendly.
He doesn't have to be.
He does forever.
People want me to... Bruce 888 wants me to sing the Cutie Honey theme. I don't remember it that well. Do you guys remember it?
Nope.
It's like, she is a girl with a blah, 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 blah. A shabba shabba na 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 na. Yes, they call her Honey. She is the cutest. Blah, 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 blah. So, honey. Something like that.
I believe you.
Yeah, I did it. What game of 2013 are we looking forward to the most? Pikmin 3. How about you guys?
Probably right now, BioShock Infinite. I think it's the thing I'm most looking forward to. Grand Theft Auto 5, we know is coming early 2013.
That was a weird time.
It's all rendered irrelevant for Dynasty Warriors 8 was announced.
What's that coming out on? I didn't even see.
It's just been confirmed for PS3, but I would be very surprised if it doesn't get a 360 release. They normally, in Japan, they normally just come out on PS3. Well, they're normally just announced for PS3, and then someone in an alleyway will just say, oh yeah, 360 as well. Because over there, it's more of a PS3 system seller than anything else, so they always say, coming to PS3, and then later on, someone... like a three-legged dog will just scrawl Xbox 360 in the dirt.
It'll be interesting to see if they think that's worth putting on the Wii U as well, doing all 3 consoles. It's going to be interesting to see if that becomes standard practice or if it's still kind of a fluke. Speaking of which, Terry Ladiga Jr., who's a great guy, asks us what Wii games we're wanting and waiting for. We've talked about it a lot. We've talked about that a lot, though. But at the end, he asks, will Nintendo make a comeback with the Wii U? I'm always so confused when people say that, if they'll make a comeback, because the Wii was their comeback and is their most popular home console ever. So do people really think that the Wii failed in some way or something?
I don't know. I mean, I guess it was a failure depending on what you wanted from it. You might be able to accuse it of being, say, a creative failure, as opposed to a commercial one. I certainly, I don't think it was a failure in any way. I mean, if its intention was to have like a big robust third-party library, then yeah, it failed. I don't think that was its intent, though.
I think they hoped for that, and the third parties failed to do that. But Nintendo, first party wise, some of their best-selling games ever on the Wii, and critically acclaimed too. People loved Mario Galaxy. A lot of people liked Skyward Sword. A lot of people liked Punch-Out. A lot of people liked what else did they? Tons of games they put on there that critics liked and sold really well. It's just third parties didn't know what to do with it, and tried to cash in on gimmicks and tried to put out substandard games that they would never even try to sell on the PS3 and 360 because they thought the standard was higher there. And Wii owners didn't want to buy that either. They didn't want to buy 20 on-rail shooting games. They wanted other stuff.
I don't know, I think every console has failed in some way, but then they've also succeeded in other ways, so
yeah,
I don't think it's right to say any of them have failed. I mean, even the PS3, I mean, it's clearly going to end this generation as the third placer. It still did all right.
It did. Well, there's room for all 3.
Yeah, no one's saying that Sony's going to be out of the console business like they were with Nintendo last generation. Mm-hmm. I don't think we've had a faltering of the scale of the GameCube.
Yeah, and hopefully we never will again. I want everyone to survive. I'd be sad if anybody died. Should I do another question or so? Grr?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, there's so many of them about Star Wars. It's hard to sift them all out. There's a woman named Hilda. Is that Hilda? Does she want to know something? I can't find her. Oh, yes, Hilda Tildy. Hilda Tildy asks, after seeing Jim on the Jimquisition as an awesome scarecrow, I was wondering what your favorite Halloween costumes that you've worn have been. Jim, what's your favorite?
Well, probably that scarecrow I did on the Jimquisition.
It's pretty good.
Very, very proud of it. I didn't know how well it would turn out until I actually saw it on the camera. I saw it in the mirror putting it on, and then actually seeing it in the camera, it worked very well, and it was very cobbled together. I mean, I didn't end up with a good brown top, so I just opened one of my short sleeve brown shirts over a black shirt and threw on some mesh, and it turned out well. I'm very pleased with it. I don't do a lot of costuming, dressing up stuff. I'd like to, but I just don't. So that, and I told this story before. I know I told it at the Escapist panel, but I once wore an actual pumpkin on my head. Like an actual hollowed out pumpkin. I cut triangle eyes and a big grin on. And that's not a good idea. Don't do that, kids. That's not one of Jim's Halloween tips. Because what happens is it starts to deflate on your head. The top of it gets very mulchy and just slops into your hair and soaks into it. And then if you're like me, 13-year-old Jim, you get dehydrated and very thirsty, and then in desperation start sucking on the sides of your helmet. So don't do that. You don't want to suck on your pumpkin helmet.
That makes me worried for you. I'm glad you're okay, though. Favorite Halloween costumes I've worn? They've been pretty bad. I once just brought a cow skull to school. I guess that was good. Yep, that's my favorite costume. Got a cow skull guy. Pretty spooky. Conrad?
Costume? No, I don't really. Yeah. Who would see me in the costume? I don't leave the house.
You sometimes
So what?
do.
I'm doing it for the wife? No, I'm not dressing up for the wife.
Right, but in the past, you've left the house. You've been to college. You were a college man. Maybe that's when you dressed up as Sailor Mercury or something.
Stayed in. Trying to think the last time I wore a Halloween costume. Actually, it's I've worn costumes for other events. Like one year, some friends of mine threw a pirate-themed party, and I showed up in a black T-shirt and jeans and had a keyboard.
That sounds good. A little spooky.
Yeah, no, I can't remember the last time I dressed up for Halloween.
I really want to get this Emperor voice down right. Do I have to overpronounce? Is that what he does? Like, you don't know.
What the hell?
Honey. Yeah?
Yeah. Just keep doing that, but not when I'm listening.
That didn't really sound like him?
It sounded like a cross between Willem Dafoe and a pig.
That sounds good.
Pigum Dafoe.
Yeah.
That'd be
Is
quite
that how
good.
the input sounds? Like that?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Just a Bobo asks, what is the best Halloween film ever?
Trick or Treat.
That is a good Halloween film. I don't know. I've been thinking about Clue a lot lately, starring Tim Curry. I think Tim Curry has to be in the best Halloween film, whatever it may be. Though he actually looks more like the Grinch than any Halloween character. I like that Tim Curry, though. He's good. It's good to watch. Conrad, your thoughts?
Sure. I don't have thoughts.
Well, I guess I'll wrap it up. I feel like you guys are all questioned out.
I am.
Yes, you've been tapped out of your powers. So I guess we'll talk about what we're doing this week. Should we?
Sure.
Jim?
Oh yeah. What are you doing? Sorry, it's just that Kevin Dent.
We're all just kind of out of it at this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The Kevin Dent saga he's now attacking Ian Chung from Gamerangs. He's really not a nice person from the looks of it.
What does he have to lose? It's not like he's going to lose his huge following.
Apparently he had a go at one woman, criticizing her fun bags and everything. Seems like he just spends his time just trying to pick fights with writers.
That could be a thing someone on disability does because they want attention and to feel powerful in some way. My guess is he's got a bum leg or something, or injury and can't work, so just go on Twitter and make fun of people's boobs and their writing style.
I still don't know who this guy is.
Well, that's the thing. He's not a guy.
For him to say that he said this thing that I must have heard because he said it really loud. And what was he doing? Just shouting it across the street? I'll buy him his drink at E3 and he can let it all come out there.
Well, that sounds like a waste of your time. That's very generous
It's
of you.
Absolutely
I would give him 2 minutes.
It's absolutely a waste of my time.
As soon as you see it, tell him the clock's ticking and you better make it interesting or else later.
I'll give him till he finishes. I'll give him till I finish my drink because I'm not coming in. He's not drinking and I'm not.
Will you sing Newsies songs to him? Sing Newsies to him when you see him.
All right.
You've seen Newsies?
Actually, he's bringing Michael Pachter, so I'll need you to come.
Who, me?
Yeah, because clearly, if he's bringing Michael, then there's going to be a rumble in the Bronx. Which is funny, because I'm quite friendly with Michael Pachter now. Like, Pachter says, he said the other day that I was becoming one of his favourite writers. And this guy's still bitter about just the way I criticise the things Pachter has said before.
Well, yeah, you can't mess with Pachter
And
when
he's
you're
still...
talking to Kevin Dent. He's looking out for him. He's protecting him. Pachter's, he needs help. He doesn't have much clout in the industry. He needs someone like Kevin Dent to make sure no one hurts him. I guess.
Yeah. I'm
Thomas
sorry.
Truong wants to know what's the scariest situation we've ever been in and how did we react? I got mugged, so I just gave them the money so I didn't get stabbed. That's how I reacted.
My scariest moment was when Michael Pachter confronted me and I shit my pants.
Conrad, you've had any scary situations?
No. I don't get scared that I'm... here's the thing. Every day of my life in this household, there is some sort of scary thing for Katrina, for my wife. She has something that scares her to the point that she screams once a day.
Oh, that
It could
sounds scary.
happen early in the day. It could happen late in the evening. But God is my witness. She squeals every day. This
Does that
morning...
scare you?
No, it's just I'm so inured to being startled or, people being frightened. I'm so dismissive of it now that I don't think I get scared by stuff. I get scared by Twitter. Twitter scares me.
Yeah, it can be scary.
I have creeping dread, but terror isn't something I typically experience.
Huh. Well, that's good. I'm glad you don't get too scared too often.
Well, and part of that could be down to, completely going... I used to watch a lot of horror films as a kid because when I was 6 years old or 5 years old, I had this babysitter whose kids let me watch Silver Bullet.
Oh. Stephen King's Silver Bullet starring Corey Haim.
Yeah, that's one. And, I had nightmares for 15, 20 years of the last scene with them shooting the werewolf and him jumping back up, and it just, oh God, fucked with me. And so as a result of that, I've always been one of those, if there's something I don't like, I have to find out everything about it. It's a compulsion. I have to be able to justify my dislike of something.
That makes sense. Dislike or fear or both.
Right, well, and I dislike being afraid.
Sure, that makes sense.
So I wound up drowning in horror movies all through my early teens, and so none of that stuff frightened me anymore, and I don't want to say it inured me to violence or anything like that, because that would be silly. Media doesn't do that to people. It doesn't desensitize people to violence.
But in terms of the tricks of how horror movies scare you, you're on to their tricks and they don't work on you anymore.
None of that stuff scares me. Games have never scared me particularly, except in, again, a creeping dread kind of way. Dead Space can be very effective at that. I really think they do a great job of atmosphere. Atmosphere has to go a long way towards it. And so the things that scare me are things like being a parent and, long-term, serious problems. The economy scares me. Those things scare me. I don't get scared by scary things.
That makes sense. Well, thanks for the thorough answer. Dylan Stout wants to know, he's a first-time asker. I feel like I need to ask. He's Killer DLS on the Twitter. He asks if we've played Miami Hotline yet. I believe it's Hotline Miami, isn't it?
It's Hotline Miami, yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played it yet. I've watched it, I've listened to the soundtrack, but I've been too busy playing games for review to play it, though it looks like a lot of fun. It looks like it's a knowingly crazy... Well, not crazy, that's not the right word. It's a knowingly disgusting, batshit, wild romp of shooting guys while wearing a pig mask with lo-fi graphics to make it less yucky. So that could be fun. I'll play it. How about you guys?
I've played a bit. I'm not fond of it.
Yeah?
I totally understand. Well, actually, Greg Carter from The Escapist said this. He said he doesn't like it. He understands why so many people love it. I'm pretty much in the same boat. I totally get why people are in love with it, and I want to love it. I love a lot of what it does, but the actual game it's something that I just can't gel with. I don't know what it is. I mean, I know the clairvoyant enemies really pissed me off. Like, it's designed to kill you over and over, and I don't know. Sometimes I like that. Like, it works well in Meat Boy, but in this, it just pisses me off.
Well, Meat Boy, you feel like you're in a place that really is dangerous, and it's dangerous in a fair way, whereas this sounds like you just feel like the AI is programmed to make it impossible for you to survive, and there's nothing you could have done, which is the opposite of fun. Whereas
Yeah.
Meat Boy, you always think, if I had just done a little bit better, it was fair. It wasn't the programming that killed me. It was my own playing. And if that's not there, then you're going to be sad. Yeah?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
He's just told Ian Chung to sue someone. There's a
It seems there
answer
seems
to
to be a pattern
everything.
here.
It's a
Yeah.
lawsuit.
It's a little like reading stealth comments and being like, he just said bad grammar and stuff that didn't relate to what I said. He said I should be fired because I don't like Final Fantasy 13. You know, nothing against stealth, mind you. He's come a long way, actually.
It's a little different when someone's claiming to be a professional in the industry and he's just attacked. It just seems like he exists to slag people off and then tell them to sue people.
Stealth has claimed to be a professional in the industry. He was really mad at me that I didn't respect his professional authority in the industry and change my stories and stuff like that. He's really gotten angry. Hopefully this isn't going to anger him again. Stealth, you know, we love you, but you've done some things in the past that have been weird.
He's an odd duck.
Seems to be getting more normal, though, lately.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry for the listeners. I don't know
Kevin Dent.
I don't know whether that was entertaining or not for the listeners. I apologize. Stuff like that can really, when you're just trying to put on a podcast and then shit starts coming in, just this torrent of abuse, it can really put you off. And I tried to at least make it funny for the listeners.
You did, and it was a different kind of Podtoid, which is what a spooktacular celebration of Halloween is all about. The next week we'll be back to normal with a Willem Dafoe pitch and a GameCube commercial and all the things that they suckle at every week.
Okay, well, thank you for listening to our show. Did you do Sup Homes plugging and everything, or did we get sidetracked?
No, I did not.
Do that now, my friend.
Oh, God.
Gabriel Schrager is scheduled to be on the show. Though I haven't checked in with her yet. I was going to check in with her this evening to make sure she can still make it. She is the story editor on Zombie U and a few other games at Ubisoft. I think she might have done Rayman Origins, too, and Rayman Legends. So she's neat. I met her in New York, and she was so passionate about fusing the storyline of Zombie U with the gameplay and making gameplay events complement the story and vice versa. It was really great to hear a writer come at it from that angle as opposed to just, it should be about my story and then the gameplay. You know, maybe they should cut out the gameplay like someone once said about Mass Effect 3. It was the exact opposite of that stance. She really wants to make a story that'll make the game more fun to actually play and vice versa. So hopefully she'll be on. She's in New York, though, I think. So New York's a disaster area after the hurricane.
Yeah,
but we'll
that
see.
could be a problem.
Right. So I'm not counting on it, honestly. But I'd say 75% chance she'll be on. If not, we'll have somebody else on. It'll be great. Either way, it's going to be Sunday. Great. Yeah, I thought last week's with Tyrone, though we had some technical problems, some really good content came out of that. He dropped a lot of news, too. There was like at least 6 or 7 points of news that hadn't been announced anywhere about Cave Story, the future of the Cave Story series, about Night Sky coming to iOS, about Aban Hawkins and the 1001 Spikes maybe coming to Steam and to PS Vita. there was a lot of good stuff in there, so check that episode out. And it was just fun to talk with Tyrone about the industry and what it's like to be a publisher of smaller games and trying to make them bigger games, especially indie games from Japan, which is kind of a non-thing because people just don't play indie games in Japan. But he's trying to grow that whole market, which is great. Is that on iTunes yet, Conrad, or coming up soon?
Yeah, it's going to
Should be
be
soon.
on the iTunes it'll be up on iTunes by the time people have an opportunity to listen to this. So
Okay, super
Yeah.
duper. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. This Sunday there'll be Sup Homes at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Destructoid and also Destructoid's Twitch TV channel, and Dtoid TV on YouTube has all of the reruns, and then iTunes has all of the podcast versions, the audio-only versions of the show. So do that thing. See if you like it. Tell me what you think. Follow me on Tron Knots on Twitter, and tell me if you like the things I did. I'd appreciate it. Thank you.
That is good fun. Yeah. We got... Oh, Conrad. I didn't mention.
Yes.
I was trying to get your attention on the Saturday Morning Hangover this weekend.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you actually read my stuff out, but I had to rename myself. I couldn't remember my old thing. But, yeah. I tried to pick something familiar, which is why I called myself Chungus Sterling. And I was just making...
it's
really...
so easy for people to want to be you that if it's not like actual Jim Sterling, I just ignore it because
I figured, yeah, I was trying to, like, because I was mentioning about picking up bits of dead deer off the road to eat. I figured that would be enough.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, good times.
But it was a good show.
Yeah, we had a good time.
Tail end.
We're gonna do another one this weekend. I'm thinking I really want to play Toe Jam and Earl with Jordan.
Oh, that'd be nice.
But yeah, it'd be great, right? But it's still not out on the Sega Classics Vintage whatever collection thing for PS3 or 360. And so I have a choice between like hooking up my Wii or hooking up I don't even know if my Wii. I have two Wiis, and I think one of them doesn't work, and that's the one with Toe Jam and Earl on it. Or hooking up my Sega Genesis and figuring out how to stream that. So I think I'm going to try and do that.
Whoa.
Yeah. So if I can pull it off, we'll probably play some Toe Jam and Earl on Hangover this weekend.
Nicely.
Yes. And I've got an Assassin's Creed 3 review up on Dtoid right now. It is a decent game.
Yeah, you were very fair in your critique.
I tried to be.
Yeah, so 7.5 out of 10 for the score Harpies. Worth checking out.
Yeah,
good
I
review.
think it's worth checking out. It's fun.
What else have we got review-wise? I threw one up for Ragnarok Odyssey, which went up while we were talking. Loved it, as I think I've clued in enough on the past two episodes of this show. Beautiful game. Short loading times for a game with so much content in it on the Vita. I don't know how they did it, but now there's no excuse for any other Vita game, as far as I'm concerned. But then it does a lot of things that should codify how a Vita game should be. They got the touch controls are very judiciously used. Controls, virtual buttons on the side where they're just easy to reach. It doesn't overdo anything gimmicky or any of that shit. It's just a good, solid, portable game. And definitely the gold standard for PS Vita games. Definitely check it out if you want a good action RPG. Otherwise, as we noted earlier, I donned a Scarecrow outfit for the Gymquisition this week. That's on escapistmagazine.com. The episode's called Scare Tactics, and it's about jump scares and details Dead Space and Doom in particular. Also talks about Slender and SCP-087, which if you're looking for a Halloween experience to shit you up tomorrow, download that. It's free. Do some searching. There's lots of different versions. Try and look up them talking about it on Rock Paper Shotgun, because they talk about the proper version you should look for. Just do a search on there for it. SCP-087, fantastic game. Check it out. Costs nothing. It's constantly in testing in beta, so it's not perfect, but it will creep you out if you're anything like me.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's it. We're done.
We did it, guys.
Yeah. We'll see you next week then, I guess. If you dare, Halloween. And that was Conrad's microphone making some scary Halloween wind.
Ooh.